Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I have one very serious and very important question to ask you. Yes, you listening to this. Are you in a food coma today? It's the day after Thanksgiving. How many people ate and drank inappropriate quantities of stuff? I think that I'm out relatively unscathed, but I'm not going to escape the Black Friday shopping. Moonbay and I are going out as soon as I finish recording a few videos, which I mapped out a little bit earlier today. But I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving with your family. And if you don't celebrate that, then that's cool too. Thanks for stopping by regardless. You know what we're talking about today, though? This is kind of silly. Take a look at this headline from Daily Hodl. XRP is less decentralized than Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other crypto assets due to Ripple's involvement, says institutional giant Grayscale. Now, I will say at the outset, before I cover any of the specifics, having read this article and looked into them, I don't think that they're coming from a position of trolliness. I just think what they consider the metrics that they're tracking and determining whether or not a cryptocurrency is decentralized, different than what I think is reasonable. So I'll share with you my thoughts on that. I've also got this article, unrelated, just interesting, so I'm going to share it at the end of the video, but it's from Cointelegraph, and it is titled, IBM Files a Blockchain Patent for Fighting Package Theft by Drone. Yeah, you get it, IBM. You do you, girl. But before we get going any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. I said that weird. Subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel, if I could fully enunciate it. We're going to have a killer time here today. Look at this man here on the screen, Barry Silbert. He is the founder of Digital Currency Group and Grayscale. I think it was technically, so Grayscale is, what's the word? Is it just a subsidiary of Digital Currency Group, if I'm not mistaken here? Anyway, so there he is on the screen with 200,000 followers. This guy is rather sharp, I would say. I'm a fan, regardless of, the fact that Grayscale has opinions about XRP that I just disagree with. And you can see here, like, they're a major deal here in the world of crypto. See, established in 2013 by Digital Currency Group, Grayscale is a trusted authority on digital currency investing. Here's just a little blip of how they describe themselves. Because here's a little snippet. Access and insight for a changing world. Digital currencies are poised to radically transform our financial system, but it won't happen overnight. At Grayscale Investments, we believe investors deserve an established, trusted, and accountable partner that can help them navigate the gray areas of digital currency investing. That's why we are building transparent, familiar investment products that facilitate access to this burgeoning asset class and provide the springboard to invest in the new digital currency-powered Internet of Money. But I like it. I like the way Ripple coins that. It's Internet of Value. But hey, Internet of Money works too, I guess. Let's go ahead and dig in. I think that might have been enunciated wrong too. Let's go ahead and dig in to this piece here. The institutional crypto asset manager Grayscale has released an in-depth report on the digital asset XRP, analyzing the coin's history, protocol, price, transaction, speed, and more. The report says early developers of the XRP ledger focused on challenging existing financial systems, creating a fast protocol that has lifted the digital asset to become the third largest cryptocurrency by market cap. And here's a quote now. XRP sought to eliminate high transaction fees and long processing times driven by institutions, and like most digital assets, addresses the double spending problem, which is when third parties are needed to monitor counterfeited money or forged transactions. Developers integrated features including a consensus algorithm and escrow schedule in lieu of a blockchain protocol and mining rewards, as well as incorporated a suite of commercial financial products. In doing so, XRP has gained momentum amongst both financial institutions and individual users. I got a little grief with some of this here. I feel like my biscuit's starting to get a little bit burnt reading part of that. So developers integrated features including a consensus algorithm. Okay, so consensus algorithm, I'm sure many of you are aware, but in case you're not, that is what it eliminates the double spend problem. And all you're talking about, the way that the XRP ledger works, is that there's just a consensus of the order of which XRP transactions are appearing on the ledger. Now check this out though. So they write an escrow schedule in lieu of a blockchain protocol and mining rewards. Okay, I want to be very clear on this. No, there's not mining. And that's what Bitcoin uses to solve the double spin problem. But the XRP ledger is absolutely a blockchain. It absolutely 100% technologically, as in they say, in lieu of a blockchain protocol and mining rewards. Factually incorrect. This is absolutely factually incorrect. And I'm not going to get into the tech stuff in this particular video. I have actually debunked this on this channel many times. I just want to highlight it because it's bunk and it needs to be called out. And again, here, so like, to be clear, the approach that I'm taking in covering this is I just think that they're wrong. I think that they don't know they're wrong on this particular point and some other ones, and they also view the world a little bit differently as it pertains to deciding what cryptocurrencies are decentralized and what metrics to track. I don't think they're trying to be trolls. They're missing facts, and then they just have some different opinions. That's my take on it. It's okay if you think that I'm incorrect on that. Diversity of thought is totally cool by me. Anyway, Grayscale highlights the decentralized nature of the XRP ledger and deconstructs the way transactions are processed on the open source ledger. However, the report says Ripple's direct efforts to grow the XRP ecosystem and its ownership of more than half of the total supply of XRP inherently makes the protocol less decentralized than other crypto assets. And this is where I definitely take a more notable issue with their stance here. So let me read through this and share with you some of my thoughts. Here's a quote. The degree of decentralization for a given network is determined relative to the entire digital currency ecosystem. XRP and XRP Ledger are relatively less decentralized because of Ripple's involvement as one of the driving forces of adoption. 2, the amount of XRP supply in possession of the founders and the company. And 3, the high concentration of XRP in the top 100 wallets. That's entirely bogus to me. So look, as far as tracking metrics, I would love to, make the case for this, and I think most of you, if I had to guess, probably most of you will probably agree with me on this next point. I don't think that it's reasonable to factor in how much of a cryptocurrency is owned by one particular individual in determining whether or not a cryptocurrency is decentralized. So here's the problem: we're definitionally, we are not agreeing on what it means for something to be decentralized. They're saying that one entity, Ripple, has a bunch of XRP, and that makes it not sufficiently decentralized. I think that we should throw that out. I think that doesn't have anything to do with it. It's not meaningful. It's not that I have a problem with a sliding scale of becoming more or less decentralized. I just don't think that's a particularly reasonable metric. So what about the roughly 1 million Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto has? Does that not make Bitcoin not less decentralized? Does it do that? Because in terms of power of the blockchain itself, there's no special ownerships as a result of having that much Bitcoin, or in the case of XRP, having that much XRP. So to me, the argument just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I think that we should just throw that out. It doesn't make any sense at all. And if you want, even if you believe that no, we must factor in how much XRP is being held by major players, especially in this case, they're just talking about Ripple. If you must factor that in and determine the degree to which the XRP ledger is decentralized. Okay, so what's the threshold? What do we have to dip below before it no longer matters? Is it like 40 billion? Is it 30 billion? Is it 20 billion XRP? Is it 10? Is it 5? Is it 1? Is it 100 million? Is it 50 million? And why are you picking whatever number that you pick? Because to me, no matter what, it's an opinion and it's arbitrary, and it has nothing to do with whether or not an entity has special permissions over the ledger, which certainly is not the case whatsoever. And it also seems silly to me that because Ripple is such a champion for the XRP ecosystem, because look at this, look at the first point they made here, Ripple's involvement is one of the driving forces. They're saying that makes the XRP ledger less decentralized. Think about it. A company pushing, and there are lots of companies that are pushing, but there's a company pushing for the adoption of a cryptocurrency makes it less decentralized. In what world does that make sense? That is so upside down and backwards. It makes no sense in the world whatsoever. Perhaps, maybe I am wrong. Maybe they are trolling. I don't know. But are they sour that Bitcoin isn't being used for anything? And there's all sorts of businesses within the ecosystem that is Bitcoin, but none have found any level of success in terms of having Bitcoin be adopted for the use of anything. Period. Unless you're counting store value, but I still think that's bogus. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but I think that's completely bogus. And then the high concentration of XRP in the top 100 wallets. And again, that just goes back to the idea to which, how much XRP is held. To me, it has, again, there's no special power, because really what you're talking about, if you think that matters, if it's making the XRP ecosystem less decentralized, is the concern then that markets can be flooded because, well, first of all, Ripple's got a whole ton of XRP locked up and they're clearly being good stewards, but if you're talking about the possibility for somebody to have so much of a cryptocurrency they can flood the market, what's that have to do with genuine decentralization? That's why I keep going back to we're not even agreeing on a definition of what it means to be decentralized here. But, if you want to make this... Look, there's a wealth concentration in Bitcoin, too, and I don't think that has anything to do with its decentralization. So, here's the interesting thing. So they like to use the word decentralized in describing the XRP ledger, but if you sat down and talk about the specifics of what that means, they would still acknowledge here, and they have, that the ledger itself, of course, they cited the fact that it's open source, and there's no way you can dispute that. It's just a matter of fact. Ripple doesn't have special permissions over the network. So to me, again, it's just all completely silly, bogus, nonsense bunk. Anyway, and then the article continues. Although Ripple has placed the vast majority of its XRP in escrow to assure investors it won't sell its holdings all at once, the report says there is still a risk that large or sustained periodic sales could place pressure on the price of XRP. And then we just get back to the same argument here of whether or not that has anything to do with decentralization. And I say no. To me, it makes no sense whatsoever to perceive things that way. Because if you think about it, there's nothing preventing any actor in the whole world, if they have the monetary means, to snatch up any quantity of any cryptocurrency, period. That just doesn't have anything to do with it. Anyway, excuse me. It also labels the debate on whether XRP is a security as a question mark. Yeah, it's so stupid. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has said Bitcoin is not a security and has hinted that Ethereum is also in the clear, but so far the agency has been quiet on XRP. Right, and so XRP is a security, and for some reason the SEC has allowed Ripple to sell this security for the last 7 years. Right? It's such a bogus argument. Anyway, Grayscale is the world's largest digital currency asset manager and offers a series of institutional funds backed by actual cryptocurrency. The company manages more than $2.6 billion across 10 products, including the Grayscale XRP Trust. And so there you are on that. All right, next, here's a tweet from Mr. B XRP that I liked and I thought I'd just share with you. I came across it in my Twitter feed, and there's a little screen grab here, or just picture, whatever, and it states this. XRP is a simple game of accumulation and patience. Yup. And you're not going to find anybody more patient than your boy Moonlamp. I am happy to sit tight while the rest of the world figures this out and drives up the value of the XRP that I hold. I'm happy to do that. It's like, as somebody once put it, you're basically getting paid to be patient, which I think is kind of a funny way to look at it, but kind of reasonable, right? All right, next. You have to see this. If you're capable, if you're not driving, you should probably look at your phone here. I retweeted this, and I wrote, whoa, 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 because it was pretty freaking awesome. So here's a tweet from XRP. I'm not even trying to read that. I'll just share the at. It's at BASQUIATEFUGE. And look at this picture. This is fantastic. So he wrote this, and then I'll describe it. Before takeoff, hashtag XRP Baby hopes y'all hodl strong. Have a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels. God bless. To the moon, Lambo. So he ended up writing my tagline at the end of each video of this. That is cool. That made me laugh and smile. So thank you very much. And then he tagged me along with some others in the XRP community, including Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz. So I hope that they saw that. And then you got CKJ and Bearable Bull and the digital asset investor in there as well. And so there's a little inflatable rocket ship here. Not rocket ship. It looks like a space shuttle, right? And then there's a baby on it. It's like you can actually ride it if you're a small child. And this kid wearing glasses with a backwards hat has an XRP t-shirt, and it says Moon Lambo on right here. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And then the little XRP logo towards the tail end of it, and this is like the most baller-ass thing that I've seen in a while. Like, this is so freaking cool. So, I don't know how you made this happen, but it's hilarious, and I love it, and thank you very much for tagging me, and shout out to you, good sir. I hope you're watching. Alright, last, I'll be quick with this one, because I need to wrap up the video. IBM files a blockchain patent for fighting package theft by drone. All right, IBM has filed a patent for a patent of a system that uses blockchain technology to prevent drone-enabled package theft. According to a filing published by the United States Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, on November 12th, IBM will track drone altitude using an Internet of Things, IoT, altimeter, while continuously uploading that data to a blockchain-secure platform. It might become ordinary for drones to be used for stealing packages in the future. The idea is that packages will be outfitted with an altitude sensor that is set to trigger an alarm if a significant altitude change is measured outside of the preset criteria. Once the alarm is triggered, the GPS-enabled IoT device will transmit its exact location data to a tracking module. It's like giving your Amazon packages a way to call SOS when something goes wrong en route to your house. IBM's patent describes unattended delivery of packages that can leave items vulnerable to theft and other destructive behaviors after the package is delivered and before it is received. And the patent goes on to quote as follows: "The confluence of the increase in drone use and the increase in online shopping provides a situation in which a drone may be used with nefarious intent to anonymously take a package that is left on a doorstep after delivery." And to me, that's kind of like hilariously awesome. Because I hadn't really ever thought about the concept of drones stealing packages. I always think about just bad people out there just finding packages that are on someone's porch and taking them, and that's bad enough. But I never thought about somebody flying a drone, picking it up, and then taking it away. So, interesting, right? I thought that was worth sharing anyway. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for stopping by. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!